Hello and welcome into this week's edition of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Rewind show right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, consider going down below and hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. On today's edition of the Trucks Rewind and the final for 2018, we're looking back at Friday's 23rd annual Ford Ecoboost 200. 134 laps, 201 miles around the 1.5 mile Homestead-Miami Speedway in Homestead, Florida. Very uneventful race if you were looking for crashes or any kind of drama, as there were none. 2 cautions for a total of 12 laps, and those were only the stage breaks. First stage ended at lap 30, and Grant Enfinger won stage number 1. Stage 2 ended at lap 60, with Brett Moffitt taking the stage 2 victory. 10 lead changes among 7 drivers. Brett Moffitt led the most laps at 59. 34 laps were led by Noah Gragson. Grant Enfinger led 33. 4 laps were led by Matt Crafton. 2 laps went to Ben Rhodes, and 1 lap apiece led by Sheldon Creed and Jordan Anderson. All right, let's get into your results from the Ford Ecoboost 200. Brett Moffitt takes the race victory, his 6th of the season, 7th of his Truck Series career, but more importantly, that makes him the 2018 Camping World Truck Series champion. Because if you're not familiar with it, the way it works at Homestead in all 3 series is you got your championship 4 contenders. All you got to do is beat the other 3, and you have won the championship. Doesn't matter if you win the race. Doesn't matter if you make the most points. You just have to beat the other 3, and Brett Moffitt was able to do that. Grant Enfinger came home with a strong 2nd place finish. Would have been interesting to see what he could have done if he had made it into the championship 4. As fast as he was right up there with Moffitt and Gragson all night. And it would have been really interesting to see if he had been in the championship 4. Noah Gragson was really Moffitt's main contender most of the night. They battled up front a lot throughout the course of the night, but Moffitt was able to sneak away with it at the end. Gragson came home with a 3rd place finish. Stuart Friesen with a strong 4th place finish, and Sheldon Creed rounds out the top 5. Good run for Sheldon. Rest of your top 10 were Matt Crafton, John Hunter Nemechek, Justin Haley, your 3rd of the 4 championship contenders. In 8th, Jesse Little with a strong 9th place finish, and Ben Rhodes rounds out the top 10. 11th through 20th, we see Harrison Burton here in the 11th position. Johnny Sauter, the 4th of your championship 4 contenders, in 12th. If you had asked me before the race who would be the final championship 4 contender of the 4 in the running order at the end of the race, wouldn't have said Johnny Sauter. That came as a huge surprise to me. I wasn't convinced he was going to win the championship. I felt like he had a good shot at it. I wasn't convinced he was going to win the championship, but I sure didn't think he was going to be the last of the 4 at the end of the race. And really, he was the last of the 4, I believe, for the whole race. He just did not have any speed, could not figure out that top line, which is surprising to me given that he won the championship 2 years ago. So he figured out something at Homestead a couple years ago, just didn't have it going for him this year. Todd Gilliland came home in 13th. First truck one lap down, if I can talk today. Tyler Tipple came home in the 15th position. Jeb Burton down here in the 18th position. Brennan Poole also making his 2nd start in a row there in the 19th position. 21st through 30th, we see Chris Windham down here making, I believe, his first pavement start in the trucks. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe that's his first pavement start. Came home in the 24th position. He's showed up at Eldora a couple times now, but I believe that's his first race on pavement. And then final race, 31st, 32nd, Joe Nemechek out at lap 20 with suspension issues, and Camden Murphy out at lap 11 with a vibration. All right, that's your results from the Ford Ecoboost 200. Now let's head over to the media center. We'll see what Brett and your other top finishers had to say after this one.
Yeah, well, it was awful. So, just no grip. And, yeah, we laid an egg tonight. So I don't know why, just sideways, and then make huge adjustments on the pit stops, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Didn't really feel it. So, it's crazy. You got some races where you do a couple of pounds of air pressure and a little bit of a track bar adjustment, and it's like you go night and day, and then tonight you make huge adjustments and just ho-hum, So proud of everybody at GMS. Great season, and we just coming down the stretch here, we didn't get it done. So congratulations, 16 truck. They did a hell of a job tonight, win the championship and win the last race. That's pretty cool. So we just didn't have it.
Just struggled overall to make, productive adjustments on pit road. Kind of like Johnny said, it was just hard to really get a pinpoint on the balance. Felt like little things the things that you wouldn't think would make a difference made a big difference, and things you think would make a big difference didn't make a difference. So just overall, I'm just really happy to, soak this all in. Obviously, we wanted to be on top of the stage, but congrats to the 16. It's been a hell of a week. It's been a lot of fun, and just learn, move on.
I don't know. We just missed it. Me and Johnny had pretty similar setups. Same front end package, same rear end package. Went to the Chevy Sim together, did everything together this week. We're not married or anything, but
you guys
teammates.
sleep together?
No,
Not yet. That's
not yet. But
Cool.
no comment. But
Cuddle buddies.
I don't know. We just struggled. I can't tell you why. The truck drove okay. We just lacked a shit ton of speed. So I think Johnny would probably tell you the same.
Yeah, we didn't start off the strongest truck by far. We were really, really loose, and I couldn't really go anywhere with it. But the guys from Tour Sports, Rich Lucius and everybody, did some awesome adjustments. Really made some wholesale changes, and got it to where I could really drive it. And so went from struggling to run like 18th to getting catching guys in the top 10 while running 13th. So we definitely gained some spots. But yeah, it was just a really good team night for us, adjusting like that. So I think it bodes well for next season, and just proud of them for giving me such a good 10 to Louisiana Hot Sauce Ford F-150.
Pretty good. I don't know. I don't think it's sunk in yet. I have a lot of friends, family here, and just the effort that HRE put in all year, and Scott and these guys when we didn't even know if we were going to make it to the track, and then we show up that week and win the race at Chicago, and just everything we've been through. I don't think everyone understands when we say we have 9 or 10 full-time employees. That's the last 3 to 5 weeks they've been working 7 days a week and working till midnight if need be. More times than not, they were doing that, and it's just it's a testament to them. It's really I'm fortunate to drive the truck, but those guys, they kill it. It's an honor to drive for them.
And we'll take a look at your final point standings of the 2018 season before wrapping up here today. As we already talked about, of course, Brett Moffitt does win the 2018 Camping World Truck Series Championship. This is the final time we'll be able to call it the Camping World Truck Series, as it becomes the Gander Outdoors Truck Series for 2019. Noah Gragson there in the second position. Johnny Sauter, just amazing to me. 42 playoff points on the season, more than any other driver, and he ends up in 4th out of 4 in the championship 4. Just amazing to me that you can go your whole season, have 6 wins, and that's how it turns out. Although Brett Moffitt had 6 wins, and he ends up winning the championship, so a little bit of a disparity there. The other thing to note here, Myatt Snider there in 9th and Todd Gilliland in 10th. That gives Rookie of the Year to Myatt Snider this season. Although, Todd Gilliland didn't run every race. Because if you remember, he didn't run a few races at the beginning of the season because he wasn't 18 yet. And then once he turned 18, he ran the rest of the season. So, I do believe that had he run the full season, he would have pretty easily gotten Rookie of the Year, but as it stands, he was 21 points off of getting that Rookie of the Year. Myatt Snider is your 2018 Rookie of the Year for the Camping World Truck Series. All right, that's your final point standings for the 2018 season for the Camping World Truck Series. And I think that'll do it for us today on this edition of the Trucks Rewind and the final one of 2018. We'll have an Xfinity Rewind coming up Saturday evening at some point following the race to recap their championship race. And, of course, we'll have a Cup Series preview show go up at some point Saturday as well. I'm not sure exactly when that'll be. But we'll get it out as quickly as we can. And then Cup Rewind, of course, Sunday evening, recapping their championship race from Homestead as well. And then, of course, Pole Position Monday evening, 8 p.m. to quickly catch you up on all three of these races. If you missed any of the Rewind shows or if you missed the races themselves, that's what Pole Position's there for, to quickly catch you up and recap you on everything that happened over the weekend. All right, but if you haven't done it already, go down below, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from R&N. And while you're down there, hit that big thumbs up button. It's much appreciated when you do. So with that, this has been the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Rewind show. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.